to Azerbaijan. It's a country on planet Earth in the Middle East. Not quite what you would call Europe. Maybe Asia. Maybe the Middle East. But if you're tired of listening to Mandelson and Starmer and Files of a Man on a Private Island, we're going to bring you some respite for the next 80 minutes or so. We're Azerbaijan sausage, and the sausage curbs of Azerbaijan will be talked about, because we are at another dramatic stage in the calendar. Baku City Circuit. The drivers are facing a track that, well, blends the best of everything, really. Lightning fast straights, tight castle section precision, the ability to have 57 safety cars, and, well, the opportunity to point and laugh when drivers get it wrong and are stupid, shall we say. Set against the backdrop of Baku's modern skyline, we've got some beautiful towers, but we've also got some oldie-worldy buildings, but it demands the utmost focus. You have to be focused. The eyes on stocks, as they will say. 2.2 kilometre main straight, lots of opportunity to push the top speeds to the limit. Whilst that narrow climb that G-Star just went through will test every ounce of what we call athletes. I'm not sure we call any of our drivers athletes. There's other words I would call for them, but certainly not that. Stakes are high. This sounds like we could be in Vegas. The margins are razor thin, and every decision from tire strategy to overtaking bravery could define the race. Remember, safety cars, change of tyres, you will be there. Whether it's slipstream battles down the boulevard or the split section reactions through the technical middle sector. This is a track where, well, anything can happen, and usually it certainly does. Buckle in as we get ready for a race that promises speed, strategy, and no island action at all. This is Azerbaijan, this is Baku, this is MRC Tier 0. It's Thursday the 5th of February at 19:08, and we are on board with the Red Bull. Well, it's not the Red Bull, it's a racing bull with Red Bull livery, with G-Star as he comes down to, well, what was turn 3. Now into turn number 4, third gear, 95 kilometres an hour. Now on that burst down to turn numbers 5 and 6, and you've got to get the car really good here, otherwise you get the rear end out like he did there. That's what happened to him, coming now into turn 7, second gear, and here comes up to the corner infinitely christened Charles Leclerc, and he near enough did a Leclerc. He might be eating eclairs, but he didn't do a Leclerc. Now coming down to turn number 13, which isn't actually a turn, it's like turning the thing, it's not even a corner. Coming now down to 15, slam on the brakes. If you get this wrong, you're going to the scene of an accident where you're going to lose your wheel. Now down into 16, third gear, and then this is the flat out section, all the way from turn 16 through 17, 18, 19, the little kinkiness that is 20, and all the way down as the sun sets behind us. Born in Firenze and raised by bulls, he goes into second because his teammate has gone into provisional pole position. We'll give you the championship standings during the 5-minute break. Let's not get bored with them just now. Schmidt here in the Mercedes-Benz. Title favourites for 2026 apparently. I'll believe it when I see it. They might have more problems than you actually think. Aston Martin just behind him, coming up to a Haas here that could certainly help Schmidt as he comes through into that final section just now. Could be an interesting race, remember. We've got no assists, so nobody is running assists for this. Ferretti is 40 seconds behind, that's ambitious. But Baby Hornet and Kaiser Soze go 4th and 5th. Schmidt goes into 7th. Mamadou Badou is in the Haas. Polsky splits the two RBs. Schmidt's teammate Silicon Ball is there as well, but Armared from Ireland, he has just went into provisional pole position. So excellent from his perspective. Let's see what Mamadou can do. Nels has went up into third, so the RBs who were 1 and 2 earlier on have now been split. They are 2 and 5. Let's see what Mamadou Badou can do as he comes across the line. Is he going to beat? Yes, he does. He goes second place. Great lap from him. 94 1,000ths of a second slower. Saviour has invalidated Loppy in the Aston Martin. Let's see what this man can do. He looks like he's driving slow. This may be as fast as he goes, but who knows? We shall see. He's taken it very conservatively. If we just have a look at the lap data up in the top right hand side of the screen, I can probably tell you he's going slower. Simple's left the session, which is never good. Internet issues. He's last, he's in the pits, so it's not impacting him too much. Loppy as well. Slowly moving. Slowly. Rafa Mabufi is in 15th in the pits. Josh Boy is in 16th in the pits. Saviour invalidated. Loppy is coming round. I think he's maybe just setting a banker lap. I mean, he needs to set a bit of a banker lap. That's the aim of the game. Yeah. Ladies, gentlemen, and everything else in between. Loppy comes across the line. Is he going to go quicker than Sillenball? No, he doesn't, because he bails. Arma Red is bailing into the pits as well. Mamadou is not doing another lap. Nels is invalidated. Kaiser Soze is invalidated. Colin TK, which isn't Colin the Owl. Really need a new name for him. TK Max, there we go. He is driving as slow as Lance Stroll does on a quick day. Dumbest Hornet, Chris, the brother of Hornet Jr., baby, who's in 7th at the moment. Chris coming down to turn number 16 just now, drops the car down into that third gear, floors the throttle now in his Kick Sauber green livery, a green colour, which is always a positive. It's not a quick lap from him. His teammate Peretti did go from 40 seconds back to 3 seconds back, so he is doing well. Saviour on a quick lap in the Haas, invalidated his first lap. Let's see what he can do in these soft compound tyres as he comes down to turn number 15. Third gear. Oh, and he got on the sausage curbs. The sukuk, as the sausages are called. Dry and spicy. That's just the air. Let's see what Saviour can do. Is he going to be Saviour Sausage? Or is he going to be able to nail this one down? He's coming across the line. I think he's going to go and do a 1 minute 40. Connor the Scottish man. There's another Scottish man in the chat. 139.6. It's a half 2-3. I think we'll do the rest of the race in the Scottish accent. And I might do a Scottish accent if I can find. I sound a bit more like Dougray Scott as we go through. But here's a pink GTS Drag King. Let's do a lap on board in the Scottish landscape. Now coming down into turn number 2. DRS zone just ahead. Rear wing activated. Building up to 330 kilometres an hour. As we now brake into turn number 3, braking around about 110 metres. We're now coming into 4th gear. He's in the pink RB, nay, purple burglar alarm RB here, shall we say. Coming now down through 5 and 6, and he gets the power down really good and solid. Braking now for turn number 7, the tight castle section. This is exactly what is happening. He manages to slip himself through the gap. Nicely done there by the Drag King himself. I've seen a few of his kind. Not to be trusted, is what it is. Breaking now down into turn number 15. Humps over the sausage curbs, but he's making inroads as we speak. He's 0.8 of a second quicker. This would put him onto provisional pole, ladies and gentlemen, as he comes now through the flat turn of 17, 18, 19 and in through 20. There is a yellow flag, but it's been cleared. He's going to come across the line. Is he going to go quicker into the 38s? Is he gonna? Yes, he does. A 138.848. almost a second quicker than he would have been. The GTS Drag King, he's in provisional pole. And talking about pole, because here's Polski. He's also on our lap. We could keep with this going, but I'm somehow don't think that we will. But anyway, this is where we have it. Watching Polski in the Mercedes Benz. We'll see what he can do. 0.3 of a second up. That's progress by the Welshman. Let's see as he comes down to that castle section. Brakes, nice and shiny Mercedes there. Interesting story about Mercedes-Benz. Just Google it and you'll find out. But Polski is currently there too, just a couple of places ahead of the two McLarens, right in front of them. But 0.6 of a second ahead is a powerful pace to be. Let's see what he does as he comes to the end of Sector 2. Is he improving as he goes? Yes, he does. Half a second. This could prompt him up into at least 6th or 5th position. Let's see what is happening. For those who are wondering, the Scots have taken over the world, but don't worry, it is not Nicola Sturgeon. We'd all be screwed at that point. Polski's on his way, flat out. Comes across the line and goes into 5th place. There we go. Had enough of the Scottish influence tonight. I'll go back to the norm, shall we say. So there we go. Polski's there. G-Star in 6th. Rafa Mabufi has gone into 8th place. The two McLarens 9th and 10th. Arma Red 6.5. 6th and Drag King, who's got that surmountable gap. Don't worry, Connor. If you we've got a Williams at spun. If you wish, and if you put enough messages in the chat, I might do the start of the race as a Scottish, very Scottish accent. This sniper is not doing very well. If I'm telling you right now, the 3-point turn and turning capability of these Formula 1 cars is pretty appalling, to be perfectly honest. We nearly knocked his front wing off. Loppy has retired because Loppy has hit a wall. Loppy's hit a wall, and he hit a wall there because his teammates just passed him just now. But Loppy is out. He has ended up in the barriers. So, see. Keeping an eye on the rest of the grids. So GTS, provisional pole, Mamadou in 2nd, 26 1000s. He's jumped up there as well. So it is very much a battle, it's seeming like, between the Drag King himself and Mamadou Badou, with Colin TK currently in 11th on his outlap. Kaiser Soze is going into the pits, so nothing more from him. Seb Mail is also coming into the pits. This is not what we'd expected. And Ferretti, there is a Sauber without a front wing. That's what it looks like. It is not a pretty sight, if I'm being honest. Silicon Valley did go slightly quicker, 1:43, so good for him. Let's go on board with Sniper. Exactly. King Gav likes, subscribe and ring the bell, because when you ring the bell ends arrive and you will get notified when we go live. Just every day. Well, pretty much every day. Connor Hardy has arrived into the chat. Got a couple of commentators today. We've got a very Scottish one, and we've got me as well. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go through. But Sniper for Life is making moves. He's getting there. Keep going. Oh, nearly had a spin there, but kept the rear end happy. There's a little bit tail happy there, but did keep it going through. Don't need to lift there. Just keep it going. Drop now into the braking zone for turn number 15. Nicely done there. It's not about always being quick and at the front. It's about learning and taking part. That's why Baby Hornet's here. He tries to take part. And we don't tend to let him, to be honest. But Snipers for Life, let's just track him through as he comes to the end of his timed lap. In the Williams, his teammate Rafa Mabufi in 8th place. DRS wide open there. And comes across the line. There we have it. Right, let's jump back up to Saviour. So he has started a lap. He was getting a little bit of a tow there. And trying to improve his lap time. Remember, it's so easy to just slip into the barriers. Kieran's didn't finish a lap. Well done, Snipers for Life for you. Let's see, and Saviour has managed to invalidate, which isn't good for him. Colin TK goes up into 7th. Therefore, it's an Aston Martin, well, 7th and 19th after Loppe crashed out. Ferretti has also finished his. Everybody else is on an outlap. So we are going to... So what's more interesting is Drag King is maybe around about 5 seconds ahead of Mamadou on track. And Arma Red is maybe just about maybe 200 to 300 metres behind. So we're going to stick on board with Drag King. We'll flip to Mamadou at the end of Sector 1 as we always do, keeping an eye on what is going on. Arma Red there as well. GTS now comes into his final lap. The do or die moment where you could make yourself amazing or crash and burn. He comes now through into the DRS. Flap is open. Mamadou coming onto that back straight as well. Back to GTS. We'll track through as we go through into the end of Sector 1. Nicely done there by the RB driver. Coming now into turn number 4. That 90 degree. Lots of 90 degrees. End of Sector 1. Is he up? He's down by 3/10. Is Mamadou up? Yes! By 2/10 of a second! This has to happen! Arma Red isn't quite there yet. Mamadou, 2/10 up! Oh, and GTS bounced off at the castle section. He has sacrificed his lap, which allows Mamadou the opportunity to take possible pole position. What can the man do? Arma Red, 91,000 slower. Mamadou now coming to that infamous turn 15, now down to 16. Let's see where he is at the end of 2. Is he up? Yes, by a 10th. This would still put him onto provisional pole position if he can keep the timing going. GTS Drag Queen himself bounced off a wall and he bottled it. Can Mamadou do any better? Will it be Xanadu forever? Yes it is! By 2.5 tenths. Arma Red is 2 tenths quicker. This wouldn't put him into second, but it would cement his position in third. Saviour is 3 tenths quicker at the moment. Does he come across the line? Does he improve? Yes he does. Goes into 5th place. Arma Red is there as well. Out of that top 4. Is he now going to jump Polshgate into 3rd place? He should do based upon what we've seen so far. Does he? Yes he does! And we are down to Baby Hornet, who is 7 tenths of a second down and is not improving. There you have it, folks. Mamadou, GTS Drag King, Arma Red, Polshgate, Saviour, G-Star, Rafa Mabubi, Colin TK Nails, Kaiser Soze and Baby Hornet down to 12th place. The interesting part of all of this is that it literally did come to who was going to potentially bounce off the walls, and that was Drag King, because Mamadou went and beat him. Josh Boy 13th, Smith 14th, 7mil 15th, Ferretti 16th, Silicon Valley is in 17th, Sniper is for life, Kieran is in 18th, Loppe 19th, RPM Sinful is in 20th. Everyone on those softs, various combinations we'll see coming up. Remember, we've got a 5-minute gap to allow the drivers to prepare and covering everything that we need to do. Let's just bring in a bit. Actually, do you know what? We will talk as we do. As we do, talk about the championship. Let me give you a story. We'll start with the constructors. Alpine leading the way with 91. Exactly, Kieran. I would be the same as you. Remember, no assists. That isn't to scoff at. That is not easy. Even I wouldn't do it. I'm not a lunatic like you all. Alpine, 91 points in first. Aston Martin, 82, so a gap of 9 points. Further 2 points back is the Haas team. Remember, Haas on pole. Racing Bulls, 73, so 18 behind the leader. Mercedes in fifth. Kind of nowhere, to be honest, 53 points. Ferrari also nowhere, 50. McLaren, they've got Baby Hornet driving for them, 46 points, but they're in 7th. Red Bull in 8th. Williams in 9th, 36. And it is, unfortunately, the Kick Sauber lot that are last with 7 points. Now, what I think we need to say about the Sauber team is that they're just giving everybody the opportunity to get points at this part of the chat. So we should be clear on that. What we're expecting is we get maybe after Texas is we'll just Sauber 1-2 every time and they'll win the championship. That's exactly what's going to happen there. Now, let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship. Armour Red is in the spot of first at the moment, 70 points. He's got a 12-point lead over Saviour. Colin TK is in third. That is a surprise. 55 points. GTS Drag King. A surprise. I'd have expected him to be higher. He needs to get his finger out. Calvin didn't race in Singapore and is not here. So he is currently in 9 points. We've got a tie for 6th and 7th in Christmas. They're on 42 points. And then all the way down to the final points playing position, which is Sebmir with 3 points, Baby Hornet with 4, Josh with 5, Martin with 5, Chris in the Sauber 7, but that is because they're going to win a 1-2 for the rest of the season after Texas. So you heard it here first. If that happens, put a wager on it. So let's just tell you a bit about MRC University. Then let's bring you about Azerbaijan. It sits at the crossroads of Eastern Europe and Western Asia. It is part of Europe, but I arguably wouldn't say that you're going to get a EasyJet or a Ryanair or a Wizz Air flight for $19.99 to Baku. Bordered by the Caspian Sea, Russia, Georgia, Armenia and Iran. I mean, 3 of those countries are absolutely amazing. I mean, we all want to go to them. Lowest lying nation capital in the world, 28 metres below sea level. Countries known, dramatic contrast. We talked about this. Would Jet2 fly to Baku, Kieran? Tell us if they do. And how do you know? Are you the trolley dolly that goes, hello? Jet2 here, do you want some sandwiches, tea, coffee, light refreshments? Hi Morgan. We talked about the futuristic skyscrapers, but alongside the ancient UNESCO listed sites. And it is called the Land of Fire because of its natural gas reserves and burning hillside claims like Yanardag. And beats a Jet2 holiday. Well, that's it, exactly. For a £50 deposit per person, you could have a cuisine in Azerbaijan of dishes of plov or dolma or kebabs. They're a major producer of oil and natural gas. We've talked about that. The Baku oil field's been one of the most significant in the world, and the flame towers symbolise the nation's energy heritage, are one of the most iconic landmarks. Population is around 10 million, with Baku home to nearly a quarter of the country's residents, so sparsely populated the rest of the place. And that tight castle section is the narrowest, or one of the narrowest points in the F1 circuit calendar. So that is also another famous one. What I will say, and actually as part of MRC University, you don't just hear the good things. What we also do is we tell you about the sometimes the dark side. The 11 things that you should never, ever do. And because it's the formation lap, the 11 things you should never do in Azerbaijan, we won't do just now. We will come back to it. Because there will be a safety car, or 12. And if there isn't a safety car, or 13, I'll be brutally disappointed. Now, a lot of people, when watching these streams, say to me, Gav, can we see the tyres? They're obsessed with the tyres. So for those individuals, for your viewing enjoyment, on the left hand side, for at least a minute, there is the tyres. You will see, as do I, some interesting positions that have been taken. For a start, Polski is running hards, and he's in 4th. The next hard runner is Seb Mail in 15th. The first soft runner is Colin TK. Absolute lunatic. Ferretti is also running softs, but that's fine because he's in 16th. Mamadou, GTS Tracking and Armour Red are all in the mediums. They've all went with that kind of medium to start with. Now if we get an early safety car, that could benefit Colin TK. It could benefit Ferretti. Who knows? It won't benefit the hard runners at all. And let me just hand over to my Scottish colleague. Yes, as you can see there, the 2 stops or the 3 stops is the optimum tyre strategy around here. I mean, you're not going to get away with 1 stop. You're going to have to say it's a 2 or a 3 stopper. And if it's not a 2 or a 3 stopper, it could be 4. But 4 could be extreme. It could be because we've had 7 safety cars. Absolutely insightfulness there. The tyres are going to disappear shortly, folks, so please take a picture. It'll tell you what they are. There you go. Because we are getting ready for the start of the race. Remember, turn 1 just down there, the right hand side of your screen, not far away at all. And you can, the bogus commentator, and you could end up doing a Lewis Hamilton and going straight on. Or you could do a Daniel Ricciardo and crash into your teammate and go straight on. But anyway, let's forget all about that just now. Because at 1934, the red lights are starting, which builds up the heartbeat, because and now it is go! And it's a good start by Mamadou. Armour Red, though, has managed to get up into 2nd. GTS Drag King manages, and oh, he bounced off. He ghosted there for a second, and he's nearly getting tangled up, and he has! He's lost part of his front wing as Drag King. He was ghosting. He didn't ghost quick enough, and he managed to be attacked. Armour Red has been followed by Saviour. It could be a Haas 1-2 before the end of turn number 3. But it isn't. Armour Red stays there. Everybody else managing to get through that tight turn number 4. Everyone except GTS Drag King, who has lost a key part of his front wing. If he wanted to win the championship, he's not doing too well about it just now. Seb Mail and Simple are there. Sniper, there is Kieran. He's following him through. There's the race strategies. But Mamadou is absolutely just beginning to claw that 1.8 second gap over Armour Red. Colin TK has managed to get past Rafa Mabufi and up into 6th place. So a good start. Remember, he is on the soft compound tyre. He has an advantage that will at least last 2 laps. But no safety cars right now. 1.9 the gap out at front. Mamadou to Armour Red. Remember, DRS becomes active at the start of lap number 2. Drag King is struggling with a missing half a front wing. He's got Baby Hornet right behind him, who has to take advantage. Sillen Ball has crashed, and we have a virtual safety car, not a full safety car, but we have lost our first candidate into turn number 15. Matthew says, evening all, good luck everyone. Who are you wishing to good luck? Are you going for a particular driver? Tell me why in the comments, and tell me why you love Azerbaijan. GTS Drag King is pitting, so he is sacrificing his medium tyres as we go. Remember, he won't lose too much time. Dumbest Hornet also in the pits. They won't lose too much time under this virtual safety car. Field is neutralised, as we call it. 2.3 seconds. Remember, speeding under the virtual safety car will get you a drive-through penalty. You will have to drive to a delta, drive past that delta, and you will quickly find yourself with that drive-through penalty. GTS Drag King in 18th position. Let's just show you those tyres just whilst we can. Hards on Dumbest Hornet, who pitted, and Drag King. Polski still there in 4th place. But there are the tyres. It is still a VSC. It's what we are racing under. And there we go, and it's Ferretti who gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. The gap between Mamadou and Arma Red, 2.2 seconds as the VSC ended. Saviour looking to come under the attack of Arma Red. The field all nice and tightly exposed at the moment. 2 seconds is the gap. Let's have a look, see anybody who's making any moves. No, everybody's very well together in this group. Remember, DRS now fully activated, so we'll come in to the fray imminently. It is going to be Colin TK who's going to be potentially impacted by the DRS. He won't have it from Saviour ahead. Rear wings though of his colleagues chasing him. Polski, G-Star, Rafa Mabufe, Nels, Kaiser Soze, Baby Hornet, all there. However, they are in a DRS train. No one is making that much of a move because of that DRS train. Colin TK will just need to watch himself just in regards to going on board with Polski. Remember, he's on the hard compound tyre against the softs on Colin TK, so actually you'll probably find that Polski who's at the disadvantage because he doesn't have the traction coming out of turn number 2. Out of the front, 2 second gap between Mamadou and Arma Red. A further 9/10 of a second back is Saviour. There for the top 3 is 2 Hasses and an Alpine. GTS Drag King 26.9 seconds behind. He had a nightmare of a first few corners and lost part of the front wing. That was Kaiser Soze having a moment there coming out of turn number 6. They're keeping it in. We've got a candidate. We've got an Aston Martin who has had a moment, yellow flagged, but has recovered. At the moment, it wasn't Colin TK. So, oh no, it was Colin TK. Sorry, we are on a virtual safety car again. I thought, and it's Kieran. Oh, Kieran's retired, and it is a full safety car. So Colin TK had a moment. I did think it was one of the Aston Martins. I thought originally it was Loppy, but we now have a full safety car. So we've had one virtual and now one full safety car. So there we have it, our first safety car of the night. Let's see, does anyone pit? Will we see? And yes, we do. Saviour is pitting, as is Colin TK, which makes sense for him because he was on the soft compound tyre, so he will maybe put the hards on now. Hodgie is an evening. You've missed some great commentary. My co-commentator tonight, a very Scottish individual. We'll bring him in just a second. Colin TK though there. So let me hand over to the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jock, as we'll call him. what happened with Drag King at the start? It was a very it was an interesting event, wasn't it? Well, yeah. I mean, what you've got to understand, boy, is what happened was he got a really bad start, and then we got into a position whereby he ghosted. And then when he came out of the ghost, he appeared to like bounce and go across the track, and he absolutely upset his front wing. He lost half of it. His end plate went missing. I think Genie the Stewards got it down at turn number 3 or 2 perhaps. But he had a horrible start, and he was saved, shall we say, by a silicon ball crashing. And that allowed him to go into the pits, and he put some hard compound tyres on, and now he's in 14th. He was 29 seconds back. But since then, we've lost Sniper Kieran. He said he wasn't going to last more than a lap, but he lasted 2, so he was doing really well. But what I've found in all of this is Ferretti and Dumbest Hornet. Now, you told me that after Texas that they would be 1-2. Well, I mean, right now I'm seeing them in 16-17 and they're last. I'm struggling to believe it. But I will put some call-outs for the likes of Colin TK, or Colin the Owl as you call him. He started on the softs, as did Ferretti. They're both now on the hards. It is a safety car. Safety car should come in at the end of this next lap once the 2 Saubers close in. But Josh, he's up to 6th. He's done well for himself, that boy. I've been told that he has about 57 brothers, maybe as many sisters, but we don't know. I'm sure he'll tell me. But I know that's also Baby Hornet. He's up into 4th. He'll be having a nosebleed right now. He'll have to get the tissues out. So yeah, that's my analysis of the opening 5 laps, of which 2 of them were under virtual safety car and 2 of them were under safety car. Insightful. I probably beg to differ that one. No idea what happened for the last minute or lap. But anyway, safety car's out because people crashed. So, first full safety car, 2 VSCs. We did tell you that it would be tight and it would involve safety cars, which allows me to talk to you about the dark side of Azerbaijan and the 11 things you should never ever do. So we're going to start with number 1. Don't forget to register with the State Migration Service. Now, those who have listened to me every second Thursday will understand that we have an individual in this league. His name is Anton. He got in a small boat, not from France to England, but actually from England to France. He's what started the small boats problem, because he left his small boat on the beach. Now, Baku Boulevard, great place, but foreigners who plan to spend longer than 10 days in Azerbaijan need to register their presence with the State Migration Service, SMS. Hotels and hostels usually register on behalf of their guests, while those staying in Airbnb need to do it themselves. But as of 2018, if you don't do this, there's a hefty fine when leaving the country. You can't escape. You're also not allowed to speak about... I can't even say it. Something like that. Starts with an A, ends with an A, has an arm in it, and that Inia. Put all of that together, arm, you do that, and then you go Inia. They're at war over the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh. It sounds Klingonish. Why do these places sound so Klingonish? The region belongs to Azerbaijan, but actually is ruled by ethnic thousands of, or hundreds of thousands of ethnic Azerbaijanis were displaced from their ancestral home. They've been engaged in conflict since 1988. Tensions have escalated. But yeah, if you mention the word that one, you might elicit an awkward or death glance. So just avoid it. Also, don't bring anything into the country. No. You go for an Isle of no. Just no. You do not want that. Otherwise, they will reject you. In the same way that I rejected the 3 drivers who are no longer with us tonight because they crashed. Safety cars in this lap, which will give the opportunity for the drivers, especially Mamadou, to reinvigor themselves. Now, again, for all of those watching that like to see tyres, the tyre selection has been on your screen for at least 2 laps. It is an educational piece which has now been removed. Right, we're going to jump on board with Mamadou on the rear wing of the Haas. A zesty drink, lime and soda water. Tasty. Right, Mamadou is going to go, but he's not going to go now. He doesn't want to give Arma Red or Polski or Baby Hornet the opportunity of a slipstream. He's certainly not doing a me restart. I'd be going at least 10 mile an hour at this point. Watching, and he's getting the rear of the Haas out. Oh, and he's hit himself off the wall! Oh! And he's going now! He's gone now, and he's not really dropped Arma Red, but there is a considerable amount of movement happening just behind. If we watch Josh Boyes went deep into turn 1, he's done a Lewis Hamilton. That was a marvellous moment back in 2021. Rafa Mabufi and Smith have all just bounced off each other. We also have a... Oh, it's alright, it's the... I was going to say we have a ghosted Ferrari. The 2 Saubers at the back aren't actually like with anyone. They're just given up. But here we go. Oh, Colin TK's been hit by Smith. He did a sideways move into turn number 4. I mean, that was drifting at its finest, is what it is. Bit of a train forming behind there. On board now with G-Star in his RB. Coming now down to that castle section at turn number 9. Nicely done there. Rafa Mabufi is challenging Baby Hornet, and Baby Hornet has been overtaken by Rafa Mabufi. Baby Hornet used to be a fast driver in Tier 1. Not anymore. He races in Tier 4 now. Although that's what he says when he says he was just practicing. We know the secret, don't worry. Secret's safe with all of us. Mostly. He is about to be absolutely overtaken though by G-Star when G-Star opens his rear wing. Oh no, sorry. No, because G-Star can't open his rear wing because it feels like a lap. It hasn't been a lap. GRS now active from this particular lap, and we've got Ferretti in the pitch, and we've got an RMPM Simple who's there as well. Oh, we've got people bouncing. Why have we got so much confusion going on? Right, we've got McLaren to the left of us, Kaiser Soze, and he's missing what looked like part of his front wing. Then we've got Josh Boy, and everybody seems to have had a little bit of a moment. There is Drag King. He lost his front wing. Simple has left the session. Colin TK is there as well. Baby Hornet is kind of the cork in the bottle Rafa Mabufi. Let's jump back to get the leader intervals. 0.6 of a second between Mamadou and Armagh Red. Remember, that was around about 2 seconds before the safety car, so it certainly has improved the situation, but not in any manner that you would want to see, shall we say. Baby Hornet's fallen behind G-Star as well, so he's dropping down the field, but let's jump on board with Armagh Red, because I have a feeling that Armagh Red is about to take the lead of this Grand Prix from Mamadou. I have a funny feeling that could happen in about 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes! Absolute perfect timing there. Armagh Red takes fastest lap. And the, well, I was going to say he takes the fastest lap, but he takes the lead of the race and the fastest lap, but then the fastest lap goes to Rafa Mabufi. Followed very briefly by, so let's jump on board with Saviour. So we're now into this kind of DRS zone, the top 5 all together. Let's see what they can do. Is Saviour going to make a move? Is he coming now down into turn 3? Yes, he did, and he had to watch because he was closing rapidly on his teammate Mamadou. But he managed to get past Polski there. It is a Haas 2-3 at the moment. Rafa Mabufi looking at the back of Polski to see what he can do. At the moment, not very much. However, that's not an issue here. 5 seconds back is G-Star, who's slowly gaining, maybe by about 4.8 seconds the gap now. Back up to the front, Armagh Red has developed a 1.3 second lead, which is going to leave Mamadou susceptible to his colleague in the Haas team, who is only 0.3 of a second behind. Both the Haases get through Polski, but look how close Rafa Mabufi is as well. I mean, there is literally, you could throw a duvet over them and you would get them all snuggly. Rafa Mabufi chasing. Polski, a little bit of the legs there, but now beginning to make the move. Saviour is about to pass his teammate. DRS now open, and he does indeed pass. Polski is losing that position. He's hitting the rev limiter at the top end, and Rafa Mabufi goes fourth. Colin TK is battling against G-Star, and Colin goes up into the top 6. And Dumbest Hornet and Kaiser Soze having a little bit of a battle. Dumbest Hornet retains his position. And Baby Hornet is now just in front of his brother. Baby Hornet's fall from grace has been, well, exemplary. He was 4th at the safety car. He's now 11th. Let me sink that in for a minute. 4th. Now 11th. Rafa Mabufi, you can see the gap beginning to grow. So Saviour now only 0.6 of a second behind Armagh Red. Mamadou a further 1.3 behind, but Rafa Mabufi is right there with him. It is Saviour though who is gaining on Armagh Red, and that is going to be part of the challenge, because Armagh Red has a hard shod Saviour behind him. Remember, Armagh on those medium tyres that will be going off. Mamadou also on the mediums, and Rafa Mabufi on the hards. We're about to see the 2 hard boys pass the 2 mediums, because here comes Armagh Red. Where is he going to go, right or left? He's going to go left. He's going to go right. DRS is open. He passes and takes the lead. Is Mamadou about to be overtaken? It's not about, he has been. And it is now a Saviour leading an Armagh Red, leading a Rafa Mabufi. Mamadou has gone from 1st down to 4th. Not as bad as Baby Hornet, who went from 4th to 11th. Actually make that 12th. He's lost 8 positions in about 3 laps. And his brother's passed him. That is now 13th. Oh, and Chris got his rear end stepping out there, and Chris has managed to drop a position to his brother again, and so it is. Oh, and Chris has spun it. Did the 2 Hornet brothers have contact? Stewards may have to investigate and find out. Josh is last. Not quite sure how he managed to get last, but anyway. Saviour, 8/10 of a second ahead of the Alpine. It is a half Alpine Williams. Top 3 podium set at the moment. Polski has passed Mamadou, who is really struggling on those medium tyres. I mean, jumping on board with him just now, and you'll see any time he's trying to put the power down that car, he's just losing meters and meters to the car in front, and he's losing meters and meters to the car behind. He is going to have to think about coming in and putting a set of those hard compounds on any moment now. Armour Red also struggling slightly, but maybe not as much as Mamadou. He obviously took quite a lot out in the early stages of the race, trying to build that advantage. Safety car and VSC kind of nullified that. Rafa Mabufi is about to go and pass. Armour Red is going into the pits. That's why he drifts to the left. And he does indeed go in the pits. Mamadou is also pitting. So the medium runners are moving into their tyre strategy. Remember that the individuals in front of them will likely have to come in again. Remember the likes of Saviour, Rafa Mavivi, Gontige, G-Star, Nails, all pitted at the first safety car, or the only safety car to this point. Baby Hornet gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So not only do you fall from 4th to 13th, you also can't slow down. I'm calling that a you problem and a user issue, not actually our lack of skill. So there we go. Hards, nobody on the softs, couple on the mediums, but the majority on the hards. Now, let's go and focus on not Baby Hornet, because that's not the most interesting battle known to man. I actually wanted to focus on Mamadou and Arma Red because they are down in 10th. Now, Arma is behind Kaiser Soze. At this moment, the last thing that Arma Red needs is to be stuck behind that McLaren, especially in the tight and twisty sections. He is, and he's 21.5 seconds behind the leader, who will be putting the mediums on. Arma Red is going to have to try and make a move, and he's not able to, and he's not wanting to either, because it's not really a corner to overtake on. So again, he begins to lose time. He's lost 5/6 of a second already this lap by being stuck behind the McLaren. In front of the McLaren, you've got the Ferrari, but he is now making a move, and he does indeed pass Kaiser Soze. The issue that he's got is his DRS detection point is here. He's not going to get DRS. But again, he doesn't have to sacrifice. Seb Mail's going into the pit, so he doesn't gain any form of benefit there. GTS Drag King, he had to put on his hard compound tyres from the mediums and the end of lap 1 after having issues. Double Hornet has passed Seb Mail, but remember, Seb Mail pitted. Nels is up into 6th. GTS, or G-Star, is into 5th. Colin TK 4th, and he is following Polski. All in the hard compounds, but those hards will be starting to drift off again. Will they try and maybe get to lap 20 and then go put a set of softs on? Are they gambling on a safety car which would allow them to pit and regain the advantage? There are so many different ways of looking at how this race could turn out that it's not that easy to predict. 20.7 seconds Arma Red behind the leader, so that second or so that he lost behind Kaiser Soze a lap ago, he's managed to regain it. So he is beginning to just close, and that'll be noted. Colin TK gets 3-second time penalty as he's track limit warnings. That won't help him, especially at the end if we have any form of safety car. G-Star just behind. We've got a yellow flag, one of the Saubers. As at a moment at turn number 4, Colin TK is going to pass Polski. DRS will be open for him. We're gaining. Are we moving to the left? Yes, we are. And there is the Mercedes-Benz just behind. And up into 3rd place goes Colin TK, but he ran really wide. And that's allowed Polski to get back in front again. So he outbraked himself slightly, but there was some contact. And Polski bounced off the wall. Colin TK's through. G-Star up into 4th place. It is Polski who perhaps had a little bit of a bump from Colin TK. Colin TK's let both G-Star and Polski through. Admirable to do it. But he did give away a position to G-Star. GTS passes Nels also at a part of the track through turn number 5 and 6 that you wouldn't expect. Don't expect Nels to necessarily come back through as we go through the tight section. Saviour 3 seconds ahead. Armour Red 18.9. Remember, just about 2 laps ago that was 21.8. So that is a 3 second swing as it stands. Saviour would not be leading. But is he trying to get to the softs? Jumping on board with Colin TK, 11.6 seconds behind the leader, half a second behind Polski ahead, G-Star just over a second ahead, so Colin should get DRS. 3 seconds still exists at the top between Saviour and Rassam. Half a second between this car and the car in front. Is Colin TK pitting? Is he going in now? Yes, he is. So he is pitting. So let's just bring the tyre strategy. So he is the first of the hard runners that's decided to pit at 11 laps. Armour Red goes quickest. As we would expect, his pace has been electrifying. He's now only 17.4 behind the leader. It should be another set of hards going on for Colin. Yes, it is. So he's sticking to the hards. I think they're a better tyre for the remaining 11 laps. Certainly better than the mediums would be at this point in time. Polski on his 14-lap-old hards, 11.3 behind the leader, Rafa Mabufi there as well. There is our leader at the moment, Saviour, in the Haas. 3.5 seconds, done 11 laps on this set of tyres. G-Star in third, 10.8 behind. It's a Saviour at the moment, just getting on with it. Looking back from the rear of G-Star, you can see a Mercedes and you can see a pink RB. Fractionally behind that you would also see a Red Bull. But the gap just now, not as close as Polski would like. But he is, crucially, within DRS, which will protect him slightly from the man behind him, the man who we are on board with. You can do what GTS did there and kind of jump over that sausage curb, but it doesn't actually provide the benefit that you perhaps would be looking for, shall we say. But here he comes, passes the Mercedes who will be going into the pit lane, but it's a pass anyway. Rafa Mabufi has also pitted. So Arma sits another fastest lap of the race. Hard compound tyres gone for Rafa Mabufi as well. Arma Red now 14.6. He has made 7 seconds in 4 laps. So if you are Saviour, and you will only see GTS and G-Star, perhaps you'll see Arma Red as well, but unlikely. You will see that Arma is doing fast laps. Are you eking yourself out? Or are you hoping that Arma Red is going to burn his hard compounds out that don't get him to the end of the race? Jumping on board with him just now as we come through the castle section. Ahead of him is GTS and G-Star. He wants to overtake these as quickly as possible. G-Star flashing in front as he is recharging the battery. Arma Red doesn't need to worry about that in his Renault-powered Alpine. The French engine down into turn number 15. He is well within the DRS zone. But the GTS has got DRS over G-Star. Will either of them bail at the end of this lap and put a set of mediums or another set of hards on? That's the question. Will they continue? Are they looking to go soft? Saviour is in the pits. He's decided he's had enough of those hard compound tyres. Also, G-Star in the pits. Armour Red needs to pass GTS if he can into turn number 1. He's got to watch his front wing, but he is out ahead of that Red Bull. Doesn't have to do anything rash. GTS leader for now. Armour Red there. Mamadou is ahead of his teammate after pitting at the same time as Armour Red, so that's slightly pitting earlier has worked, allowing them to build up that advantage, but Saviour isn't that much behind him, about 0.4 of a second. Armour Red is still stuck behind GTS. GTS really struggling on those 15 lap hards. Armour Red trying to get alongside him on the run down from 6 to 7, doesn't manage it. This is costing him. Mamadou gaining. If GTS is playing some form of not even team game, he is delaying Armour Red. Was 4.6, it's now 3. Armour Red is all over the back of the pink RB. It's 2.5. The Hassies have gained 2 seconds this lap so far. This is where GTS will not be able to hang on because of the DRS unless he absolutely dumps his battery. But look how close Armour Red is. GTS has to come in, surely. Already Armour Red is looking. He's now making that move. GTS is going to go into the pit this lap. He's not fighting this one too much, but the gap is 1.3 seconds. Saviour is now past his teammate, Mamadou, and guess what? 1.5 seconds behind Armour Red. He was, at this point last lap, 4.5. He has gained 3 seconds through GTS, holding up Armour Red. Column TK sets fastest lap of the race, 122.005. Unfortunately for him, he's in 7th, and he's got a 3-second penalty. Saviour, though, is on 1 lap old hards. That is not what Armour Red was wanting. Armour Red would have been wanting that 4 or 5 second buffer to just protect him over the next few laps. Remember, we're about 8 laps away. Fresh hards on the Haas. Mamadou and Armour Red got the same degradation. Rafa Mabufi in 4th on 2 lap old hards, pitted the lap before Saviour. Back up to, as we're seeing Mamadou, let's jump on board with Rafa Mabufi just now, but again, watching the top 4, and it is the top 4. 5th place Polski is 12.5 behind the leader. Tyres remain on screen, nobody's asked me for them, which means they are getting the service that they want. 2.7, so this will give Rafa Mabufi DRS, but he does run wide at the bottom of 16, not what he needs right now. Loses about 2.3 of a second. He will get DRS, but so will Mamadou. Yes, he does, opens the rear wing. Saviour also has DRS, and that 1.5 second gap a lap ago, 0.4 of a second. Armour Red is going to have to get on with it, because Rafa Mabufi is also just about to get on with it. He's just getting it on with Mamadou, and he is past Mamadou. Saviour now has to move, and move quickly he may need to, because Rafa Mabufi is closing in. Mamadou might not have been that challenger because of his laps on the tyres of 7 laps, but Rafa Mabufi certainly can be that challenger. Saviour now half a second behind. Rafa Mabufi is gaining, but he's got to watch that he doesn't do anything stupid. Got a yellow flag in sector 1, that's one of the McLarens. This as well, but Saviour now gaining, but look at that, 1.5 seconds, so that's now come down by a second. Jumping on board with Saviour. He's only 0.3 of a second behind Armagh Red. If Armagh loses the lead at this point, it's going to be very difficult for him to come back at Saviour, given the tyre degradation. The DRS flap is open. There is the Alpine to the left-hand side, and there is the lead moving from Armagh Red in the Alpine to Saviour. And he gives the DRS a little flap to say, I'm still here, but Rafa Mabufi 2 seconds back, jumping on board again with Armagh Red, and Saviour bounces slightly off the walls there. DRS wide open for Armagh Red. He will be gaining. He's not using his ERS at all. Nels above GTS. GTS has just pitted again. Remember, he had to pit on lap 1 after losing pretty much half of his front wing. Two McLarens have not achieved much since the lofty heights of 4th from Baby Hornet, who then disappeared down. Keeping an eye on the activity as we go through. Armagh Red 1.1 seconds behind, so he has fallen back from it. Rafa Mabufi though 0.9 of a second behind. Could Rafa Mabufi and the Williams make it up into second place? We've got 5 laps to go after this one ends. Coming on to lap number 21 now, 26 here at Azerbaijan. It's all settled down slightly. Keeping an eye on traffic behind Colin TK and G-Star. GTS Drag King now up into 8th, past Nels in the Red Bull. Baby Hornet has put another set of mediums on, but he's 1 minute 20 behind the leaders. Let's watch it. Us keeping an eye. Armagh Red now 0.8 of a second, so he's gained slightly. 0.7 as it goes through. Let's just jump. Actually, let's not go near Baby Hornet because we'd be extremely disappointed. Let's look at Armagh Red because he's now getting the bit between his teeth again. He was 0.6 of a second, but he's now around about a second behind. He's got to try and keep within that DRS window and hope that Saviour makes an error. But at the points that he needs to, he doesn't have the pace in those tyres. 9 lap old hards versus 4 laps old on the Haas in front of it. 5 laps on the Williams behind him. He does a little trip across to that barrier and clips it slightly, but this is where he doesn't have the grip, and this is where he doesn't end up getting near DRS. 4.7 seconds now back is Mamadou in 4th place. He looks to have probably cemented at least that position in the top 4, but he doesn't look at this point to be challenging Rafa Mabufi. It is therefore a direct runoff between Saviour and Armagh Red. Rafa Mabufi is kind of fallen back from Armagh Red. He's not really gained much. Jumping back to Colin TK, who is chasing down G-Star, who also has DRS. The Colin TK Aston Martin hitting off the limiter. Postgate in the pits, replacing a 6 lap old hards for 0 lap mediums. Interesting why he would sacrifice track position. There is a queue of people. GTS Drag King with DRS, Colin and G-Star without DRS. But also, why sacrifice track position? Maybe he knows something we didn't, but he isn't going to make up those places anytime soon. Colin TK has passed G-Star. Good move, looking back. GTS will be looking to get past G-Star. Those who try to share similar names. 2.5 now between Saviour and Armagh Red. That's that battle's over. Battle between Armagh Red and Rafa Mabufi, 1.4. Also likely over. It stayed relatively consistent. Mamadou is 5.5 behind the leader. He's that's finished from his perspective. So this is the battle that we are watching. Jump on board with Drag King, who is a second back from the Aston Martin, 2 cars in front of him at the present moment. It's getting a little bit cloudy here in Azerbaijan. Land of fire, not the land of ice. GTS has some powerful speed in that RB. G-Star also has pace, and Colin TK is losing 2 positions in 1. GTS is going to try and take G-Star up into turn 1. He's looking at it, and he maybe made a little bit of contact there. He didn't get it, but Colin TK is coming back to him because GTS got a little bit greedy. Colin will now get that DRS, but instantly uses his ERS. If we jump on board with Colin, he's gaining. They both do not have any ERS left. That is how tight this is. They are using every single piece of energy coming out of those Duracell batteries. The Duracell bunny is going overtime. Guys, Associate in 10th. Dumbest Hornet 12th. Baby Hornet 13th. Seb Mail 11th. No one has been... well, yes, they have. 3 seconds between Saviour and Armagh Red. This is the battle, though. 5th place, 6th and 7th. G-Star, Colin TK and GTS driving. This is the battle right now that is going on in front of you. GTS, jump on board with him again as we do, as we come down to turn number 15. We've only had 1 safety car, folks. We at least wanted 63. Not happening. A couple of VSCs. GTS already sliding his way through turn number 16. Colin TK on slightly older hards, and G-Star there as well. What will Colin do? Will he have the pace in that Aston Martin? We've seen him before in this race hitting off the limiter when he does have DRS. GTS already gaining. DRS now wide open. Making the move down the right hand side for GTS. Colin TK there as well. Is he going to be able to make a move? He's been a little bit boxed in by G-Star there. Is he going to run a little bit deep? Yes, he does, but Colin to the left-hand side of him. You can just see the Aston Martin just ahead, coming now down into turn number 2. GTS tries to get the better run out of turn number 2 and does look to have managed it. Colin is there as well. You can see they are pretty much level pegging. And Colin brakes just slightly later than GTS and stays ahead. G-Star is thinking, you boys battle between yourselves. GTS is trying to go off the inside, coming through 4, doesn't quite manage it. Overly ambitious, shall I say. Now it'll neutralise itself. There's the flaming towers. But this is a battle. We've got 2 laps to go. Lap 24 out of 26. Saviour leading. Armagh Red second. Rafa Mabufi third. Mamadou fourth. In this battle for 5th, G-Star, Colin TK and GTS. It is an RB with a Colin TK sandwich. Staying on board with the pink RB. What Colin needs to do is get a really decent run out of turn number 16. This is 50. This is 16 coming up. He needs to get a good run through. We're watching it back from the RB, but let's look back from the leader RB in 5th place of G-Star. We can see that Aston Martin about 7/10 of a second back. Remember, slightly younger tyres on G-Star. Colin is gaining 6/10 of a second. DRS is wide open. Look at GTS. He's already trying to line him up. He's looking for some overspeed here. He is going to get that overspeed. Is he going to run a little bit deep again? He doesn't. He learns his lesson this time. Colin TK, though, can brake later and does go up the inside. But will he get the better run? They both get DRS. The critical part is who can get alongside and brake later. It's not, on this occasion, the Aston Martin. G-Star ahead. This is the battle that's going, and no, Colin has spun it! It is no longer a 3-way battle for 5th, it is a 2-way battle. for 5th. I mean, it's 2 RBs, and the 2 RBs, if they're working together, can breathe a sigh of relief. Because Colin TK had a moment, those 10 lap old hards, probably giving up the ghost. Nails in the Red Bull. Not really anywhere. There's Colin after spinning. Polsky there. Still not quite sure why he gave up 6 lap old hards for new mediums. It's not helped him. There's Kaiser Soze in the lead McLaren. Second McLaren, or the last McLaren. Jumping back to the front, there is Saviour, 4 seconds ahead of Arma Red, coming on to the final lap. It's been a race where everything has happened, and not as many safety cars as you would have thought. But we've had differences in terms of who is leading, who was out in front. Who started really well was Mamadou, built up a 2-second lead, was eradicated by the first VSC. He still maintained it, but it got further eradicated upon the full safety car, and at that point you just felt he took too much out of the tyre and couldn't get back. Arma Red led for a bit and is now second. He'll still take that from a championship perspective. Rafa Mabufi, once he got into third, didn't. It's not that he didn't have the pace to get near Arma Red. They were running at equal paces, which isn't a bad place to be. But he just couldn't get close to him. The 2 RBs, G-Star and GTS, still running line formation. Nels and then Polsky. Colin TK, after he spinning, put new mediums on, so he did sacrifice 8th, but he's now bounced off the walls again, so not great from his perspective. But what will be great from this man's perspective, Saviour, because he's about to come and take the win. Lap 26 out of 26 here in Azerbaijan. The Haas is coming across the line. He's going to take victory in Tier 0. As he does, he comes across the line. Arma Red in the Alpine will come across second. Not going to be, I would say, bitterly disappointed. Rafa Mabufi comes across in third, and Mamadou is going to come across the line in fourth. He did a pole position. Could have been a better day for him, just not quite. The battle with the RBs, it's going to go to the line, but G-Star finishes ahead of GTS. Nels in the Red Bull, fighting with Polsky, and it is just Nels in front of Polsky. Kaiser Soze will come across the line about 30 seconds behind Polsky. Colin TK gets another 3-second time penalty. That will drop him behind Dumbest Hornet. So Dumbest Hornet should, unless he gets a penalty, will finish in the top 10. Kaiser Soze is going to come across the line in 9th in that McLaren. There we go. Here comes Colin TK. He'll have his 6 seconds, I think it is, to serve. Dumbest Hornet, though, has actually dropped. So he's not, at this point, going to finish in the top 10. Seb Mail is going to come across the line in 12th in the Ferrari, jumping on board with him. Loppy has left the session. Seb Mail comes across the line, soft shod Ferrari. Comes across in 12th place, Baby Hornet. He's had an eventful race. 4th to 13th. Yep, you heard that right. Comes across the line and finishes in 13th place. There you have it, folks. 26 laps of Azerbaijan. We only had 1 safety car, which was against the predictions of at least 57. We're not going to watch the podium because usually it's full of stupid animations and I don't like them, so we're certainly not watching that. Race winner Saviour, whose podium celebration from what we've seen was absolutely appalling, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Fastest lap was Colin TK, Saviour was driver of the day, GTS was the most overtakes, Seb Mail was the cleanest driver. There is the standing. Saviour wins, Arma Red second, Rafa Mabufi third, Mamadou in fourth, started in pole position, fell down the order. 5th was G-Star GTS in 6th, wondering what could have been. Nels in 7th, Polsky in 8th, Kaiser Soze 9th, Colin TK 10th, Dumbest Hornet 11th, 7 Mail 12th, Baby Hornet. Well, he just never got going. Smith in 14th, Josh Boy in 15th, Ferretti in 16th, Sinful in 17th, Loppy, Kieran and Silicon Valley did not finish. It has been interesting, folks. Join us again on Monday for tiers 1 and 2. 7 PM for tier 2, tier 1 at 8:45, and then Wednesday for tier 3 and tier 4, tier 3 7, tier 4 8:45, and then next Thursday join us for tier 0 again. All that can be said is that's Azerbaijan. Usually creates controversy. Not much in this one. Not much controversy from me either. Have a lovely evening. It's Thursday. It is 8:26. Enjoy the rest of your day.